It is a cold morning, and you guys remember how I said I've been caught with my pants down with the cold? Well, I'm getting ready to show you one of the big reasons why it's evident to me that I got caught with my pants down. I'm getting ready to go in the barn, so I'm sorry for the lighting. Yeah, it's been interesting. Every morning has been a little bit of a struggle for a couple of different reasons. Yeah, I just had to break ice and pull out the ice with my hands. That's not fun in the morning. My hands hurt. Probably not the smartest thing I could have done, but I'm running late for work, so I'm just trying to hurry up and get this stuff done. So tonight, I'll need to bust the ice again, dump the water, and get a heating element in it. Because usually I've already got it done, but this year it just kind of snuck up on me. It usually doesn't get this cold this fast. Girls, Dilly, you got a beautiful sunrise coming in behind you. You guys want some hay? Do you want some hay? Yeah? Earlier this week, my husband was fantastic. He was good to me. He realized that I was spending a lot of time in the morning busting ice and removing it with my hands. I can't find my neoprene or waterproof gloves. I'm gonna have to buy some at the co-op store or something like that, because, oh no, there's a chicken chasing a cat. You never know what you're gonna see here on a farm. But he was nice enough and he went ahead and hooked up our heater. And mind you, around this time of the year, I would usually move my water trough from out here and into my barn, and I would plug in my heater then. But something that my husband said to me, and that I'm really glad he went ahead and took the initiative to do this, is it's safer for it to be hooked up out here. It's from you doing that. So I guess I've got a lot to do here in the barn this weekend. So here are just a couple things we do here on Mulberry Branch Farm to winterize our barn and coop. Summer can be really busy, spring can be really busy, fall can get even busier, and because of that, things just get a little messy. So we've all heard of spring cleaning, but really here we make sure that we do a fall cleaning as well. But this time it's actually a winter cleanup because we're a little bit behind on our schedule here. Life has just been really busy. So you guys see, I've got chicken feeders, chicken waters from when we had guineas in here. I've got all kinds of different containers for when we were planting. I've got half full hay nets. And if you come in here, sorry for the light change, guys. If you come in here, I've already done a little bit of cleaning. You guys can tell like I've swept up, but look behind me. Look at all that. There's just crap everywhere. You can tell I've been doing Vlogmas filming in here, and everything's just suffering a little bit for it. So I need to get my butt in gear, and I need to get this place cleaned up and ready, because if I know anything about emergencies, it doesn't wait for you to make sure everything is clean, clear, and put up where it should be. So while I have a free moment and I don't have an emergency or a medical emergency in my barn, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that everything is put up, because everybody knows in the winter, things get dark a lot faster and it gets cold, and it makes it hard for us to fumble around and find things sometimes. So let's go ahead and clean this mess up. Stop in my tap room. I keep all my feed buckets here, and I think it's really easy to tell by how they're all just thrown around that winter snuck up on us. We don't have everything ready that we need to change the way that we're feeding, because when winter comes, a lot of things around here change. We change what we're feeding, how often we're feeding, where we water, how often we water. It just really adds up fast. And if you're not cool, calm, clean, and collected, it can make winter all that much more stressful, because nobody wants to be out here in the cold longer than they have to be because they're looking for a specific feed bucket, a supplement, hoof trimmers. You know, there's a lot of things to keep track of here on Mulberry Branch Farm when it comes to taking care of our goats and providing them the quality care that they deserve. So I have to do my part to make sure that things are clean, collected, because if I need something that I can't find, the goat's gonna suffer, they'll have to wait longer for it, and it's probably gonna hit my pocketbook because I'll probably just go out of frustration and buy a new feed pan or buy a new feed scoop or buy that supplement or that dewormer or whatever it is that I'm looking for, because it's not where it's supposed to be because I didn't keep a good clean barn or winterize my barn. We're almost done. Another really big thing when we're winterizing our barns and our coops, we need to make sure we keep a really good tab on what we have on hand food-wise or supplement-wise, because in the wintertime, sometimes the weather's inclement and you can't just run to the feed store. So you have to keep really close tabs on the feed that you have on hand. So I try to make sure that I make a mental note and make an appointment with my co-op guys. I need to go pick up feed. So that's one thing that you really should be paying attention to in your barn. Winterizing it is making a good inventory list of the feeds that you keep on hand, feeds you're low on, and feeds you might need. And speaking of grains and feed, it's a really good practice to make sure that you have some really good grain or feed storage, because in the cold weather, not just your livestock are hungry, but local wildlife, including rodents such as mice, rats, birds, other things that might come in like raccoons and possums that are drawn into the grains that you might be feeding your livestock. So make sure that you're keeping them nice and sealed up, and you've got a good safe place to keep them, because you don't want to be attracting those critters to your barn or your coop, because they can cause a lot of trouble. Winterizing your barn can also include your fences and things, making sure that you don't have any weak points in your fence, because hungry critters, more so predators like coyotes, bear, or bobcat, might make their way onto your property looking for an easy way in for an easy snack. So make sure you do a perimeter check, pick up garbage, because your goats, while they're foraging, or any other livestock, might mistake a piece of plastic or old feed bag for something yummy to chew on while there's not a whole lot of forage available. So make sure you do a little bit of a pickup around your pasture. Right now, smashing pumpkins. Ready? Look, it's an accordion pumpkin. Those are just some of the pumpkins that I got from Walmart on clearance, because pumpkins are out and Christmas trees are in. So make sure you're checking for that, because you can stock up on things like that that are little treats for your animals when they're not seasonal. So yeah, make sure you're keeping good things on hand for your babies. So you guys can see behind me, I've got a whole wheelbarrow full of chicken things that should never have been in the barn, but because summer, spring, all of that good stuff, they made their way there. Now it's time to put it back. And sometimes the key to keeping your hens laying later in the season is keeping a really nice, clean, fresh smelling coop. Because who wants to spend all their time trying to push out an egg out of a tiny little hole when the coop smells bad? So today we're gonna go ahead and clean it out and give them some new bedding and put our stuff away that was in the barn, and that'll be winterizing. And I have one thing that I love to keep in my coop during the winter that I think is a game changer and it's awesome for your chickens. Might be pretty evident, but I'm a fan of the deep litter method. You guys can tell right there, that's a lot that came out of one side of my coop. I like to do the deep litter method at the beginning of fall and carry it on through the winter time. But that doesn't mean that there's not a time where it doesn't get a little out of control, a little stinky, or it might even start to block doorways. Now my door on my coop for the inside opens inward, and I shouldn't have done that. I should make it open outward, but that's something to be done in the spring. So the reason we do deep litter method is that the decomposition during the winter, oh my gosh, I just got everybody going on back here. The decomposition during the winter actually creates warmth for the chickens. And that warmth is great in the winter because we all know there's not a whole lot of warmth going on in most regions during our winter months. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this and dump it in the compost so that this waste will have all winter to kind of cool off, decompose, and get worked into the soil for my garden next year. So it's a win-win. We're helping to make warmth for our chickens for the coop, and we're helping to add nutrients and nitrates to our garden through chicken poop. Something that I really like to keep on hand during the winter time especially, or even when I'm going to be taking a vacation, I love to have flock blocks. I know this doesn't look like much, but it's because my flock is enjoying this block. So this basically is a block full of seeds, pellets, molasses, all kinds of nutritious things for your chickens. I like to keep these in during the winter time because it's something for your chickens to do. And the more they pick on this, the more unlikely they are to pick on one another. So I like to keep flock blocks in my coop for my chickens during the winter. This is just part of how we winterize. And those are just a few things that we like to do here to get ready for winter. We like to make sure that our water is accessible for our goats. We're well stocked in feed and supplements. All of our stores are clean. Our tack rooms, our supply rooms, everything is clean and where it should be. And I just think organization is probably one of the easiest things to do around your barn for the wintertime to make sure that you're ready for winter. Because like I've said many times during this video, the low daylight, the cold weather, the inclement weather, and knowing how livestock don't really care what the weather's doing to have an emergency, whether it's birth, sickness, being stuck in a fence, anything like that. The cleaner your stores are, the tighter locked up your food is, the more well stocked you are, the more resources you have readily at your disposal are sometimes the differences between really successful and less stressful winters versus those winters where they just feel like they're going on and on and on. There are a lot of things that we can do to make life easier, and on a farm, in a homestead, sometimes that's worth its weight in gold. So I hope you enjoyed this video on how we winterize our barn and our coop, which really is just cleaning everything out, organizing, and making sure all of our resources are stocked and ready to go. So until next time, guys, thanks so much for being here. If at any point you found yourself enjoying the video or you learned something, go ahead, drop us a like, leave us a comment, and subscribe. So until next time, make sure that you're being kind to one another and staying healthy out there. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.